And now, from the makers of Everyone I Don't Agree With is a Russian Bot and Everyone I Don't Agree With is Hitler, we now have the exciting new narrative, Believe All Women is a Right-Wing Trap. The new narrative, which is in reference to the left dismissing Tara Reade's allegations against Joe Biden, is courtesy of one Susan Faludi, a Pulitzer Prize-winning feminist writing for the New York Times. In the article, she uses doublespeak right out of Orwell's 1984 to claim that the left's hypocrisy is a wash because it was conservative trolls who actually put the all in hashtag Believe All Women and not real-life feminists.
It's a trap!
The entire premise of her article is that feminists never said believe all women and instead said believe women, but also that when they said believe women, what they really meant was don't doubt women. This begs the question, why not just use don't doubt women as your slogan rather than jumping through the hoops of trying to explain why the words you're using really mean something else? Instead, what we've ended up with is either gaslighting or another massive case of the Mandela effect, and I'm inclined to believe it's the former. Before diving into her proof, which she apparently arrived at simply by running a hashtag search on Twitter, she assures us that really we shouldn't even question her argument because all of a sudden no feminist can speak for another feminist or any other woman, let alone all women. Feminism has never been about lockstep groupthink, she says, despite another article making the exact same argument the exact same way, only under another author and title in the Washington Post just a week before. The only difference is that the Washington Post calls the word all a straw man, while Faludi calls it a virus with foreign DNA, which could be seen as a little insensitive for the times.
China. 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 China.
That's racist! Faludi writes, the ultimate hypocrisy would be a women's movement that rallies behind the banner of reductive hashtags about what every woman thinks, which I imagine must have angered Twitter feminists everywhere who consistently tell me that I'm just a poor girl reading off some old white man's scripts he's written for me, because it's utterly impossible for a woman to think anything that isn't a leftist buzzword. Or if they're feeling especially salty, I'm a dumb prostitute talking about things that go against my best interest. So yes, Susan, you're absolutely right. Today's feminist movement was hypocritical long before Believe All Women even existed. Somehow, though, she's twisted herself into a weird logical trap of her own in which she claims she can't speak for all women or even all feminists, but then proceeds to attempt to speak for all feminists by saying none of them would ever be caught dead using the word all. Good luck finding any feminist who thinks we should believe everything all women say, even what they say about sexual assault, she writes. Type in hashtag Believe All Women for 2017, and when the hashtag MeToo movement took off in October, and you'll get several dozen references, followed in 2018, the year of the Kavanaugh hearings, by many more. But here's the thing. I found that the hashtag is, by a wide margin, used mostly by its detractors. Curious, I decided to take her challenge. And, I have to admit that she was right. There's no way that all the tweets I found weren't the work of Russian bots, or right-wing trolls, or whatever it is that we're calling them now. Representative Maloney, not a feminist. The View, not feminists. Representative Clark, not a real feminist. Liberal author and editor for the Daily Beast, Molly Jong-Fast, not a real feminist, according to Susan Faludi. NPR, definitely not feminists. And here we have a 2017 article from Bustle, which is absolutely 100% not a real feminist site, according to Faludi, who instead of using the word all, substitutes it for every, and tells us we need to believe every woman, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. Elizabeth Thorpe, not a feminist. These folks gathering in support of Blasey Ford, not feminists. Here we have Julie Zeilinger, who is apparently the founding editor of 2 women's media platforms and even has a profile picture proclaiming herself as a feminist. But darn, she used the hashtag too, so I guess she doesn't count either. I mean, really, thank goodness that Susan Faludi is here to be the gatekeeper of feminism, or else we wouldn't know there are so many fake feminists running around using fake hashtags that never existed. Though I think Susan might have some explaining to do as to why the Women's March used Believe All Women. They must not have gotten the memo about the real hashtag. According to Faludi, this fake feminist phenomenon can be traced back to a midwife from Ontario, a teacher also from Ontario, and a set of twins from Ottawa back in 2014. A year later, Hillary Clinton also took to Twitter and made the mistake of saying every woman should be believed. Juanita Broaddrick, who accused Bill Clinton of rape in 1999, responded that Hillary had tried to silence her. And then, according to Faludi, David French retweeted Broaddrick with the Believe All Women hashtag, and thus the fake movement was born. Twitter, for some reason, though, is saying that that tweet doesn't exist, which is probably why it's also the only tweet out of this whole history lesson that Faludi didn't link. The tweets she does link and credit with spreading this fake slogan have a combined total of 3,000 followers, so clearly it's their fault. She then proceeds to admit that NPR, the New York Times, and all other manner of mainstream media began characterizing Believe All Women as the rallying cry of the Me Too movement. She also admits, in my online searches, I encountered some feminists who seemed genuinely to subscribe to the phrase. But remember, good luck finding a single feminist who actually believes it, right?
Totally.
The answer to this strange paradox? Well, clearly, Believe Women comes with an asterisk attached, and that asterisk means that all women should be believed when the all refers to all categories of women, not all individual women themselves. Or something. Because again, we can't use the words that we actually mean, so we have to use fake words so they can be interpreted differently. It kind of feels like we're getting into some mental gymnastics here. In the end, Faludi never actually tells us how to determine which women to believe and which ones not to believe, only that we shouldn't believe all of them, even when we say to believe all of them. Theoretically, if we are believing all categories of women, we then would be believing all women within those categories, or at least not outright dismissing them because they might harm your favorite politician's chance of winning. At least some of the folks out there, like Lisa Bloom, for example, are being honest when they say they believe Tara Reid, but are sorry because vote blue no matter who, even if that guy is allegedly a rapist. That is it for today's video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Drop a comment down below. I know there are angry feminists here that are going to be doing that. Thank you for the algorithms. And if you really like my channel and want to help support it in other ways, you can do so over on Patreon or Subscribestar, or give a one-time donation through PayPal or crypto. Until next time, thanks for tuning in and helping me to spread the message of liberty.